threes. She's only 34% from the field, but it's a little bit deceiving as she's knocked down a lot of threes this year, an electric offensive player. And we're underway here in Moscow. A great crowd on hand as we get you our starting lineups, brought to you by the Monarch Motel, a locally owned boutique motel at 6th and Jackson, online at MoscowMonarch.com. There's a miss on the first possession for Montana. Gandy with a pull-up three, and it's short. And a rebound for the Grizz. Here's the starting five for Idaho. Rosa Smith, the freshman, not shooting great as of late, but she's done a great job this year at point guard. They love to get her offense going here today. Left-hand flip shot off the mark. Our officials today, Tyler Trimble, Janine Pence, and Nicholas Mitch. So about 45 seconds in now, and misses back and forth for these two teams. Gandy trapped, able to get through with the handles, and draws a foul on the reach-in.
You can see the pace of this game is starting off on a real fast pace. Montana's pushed it up the floor both times, and, Idaho right back.
Yeah, Gandy is a player that they're trying to contain, and she's coming off a huge first half. She made 4 threes in the first half on Thursday. There's Gandy off the screen. Now the long three off the right side, no good, from Tiana Johnson.
We're going to see a lot of that from Idaho today. We're going to see a lot of ball screens, try to get the switch and get that pick and pop shot for Tiana Johnson.
Yeah, Idaho, it's obviously taken a lot of threes this year, averaging 30 attempts per game. They took more than 40 threes on Thursday, but John Newley really has no problem with that.
It's remarkable. 40 threes, that's a lot of threes.
They were able to hit 12 of them, one of their best showings of the season from downtown. Markson gets it inside, and the left-hand shot goes from Sammy Fatkin.
Montana wants to get it to Fatkin. First 3 possessions, she's had the ball in her hands.
3 times this year she's scored at least 20. And there's a steal for Montana, forcing the turnover. Fatkin back inside. Well defended by B. It's a good matchup there between Fatkin and Beyonce B. Back to the rim, blocked from behind by B. She had 2 blocks on Thursday, already 1 today. Smith, nice pass to Phillips, and she's fouled on the way to the rim.
Idaho pushing it in transition again. They're looking to get out early and put the pressure on the defense. It's one of the toughest times to guard the basketball is when in transition. Defenses can't get set. Players have mismatches. And it leads to a good early attack for the Vandals.
And that's where Idaho really thrives, is in transition. High-powered offensive team, averaging 72 points a game this season. And Asha Phillips goes 2 of 2 from the stripe. Here's Markson. Great career with Idaho for 3 seasons. Off to Fatkin. The dish inside. And the bucket goes for Keely Burton-Oliver.
Very good drive to the middle, on balance. She's been looking for a shot early. Makes a great dump off for an easy layup.
And back to work. Phillips for 3 this time. The freshman really getting comfortable the last 3 games, right around double figures. Another force for this Idaho offense.
They shot 43s last game. They're ready to shoot it. If I'm Montana, you got to be ready to defend.
Markson able to finish. A quick slash to the rim. Again, she sat out last season, only shooting 29% this year. Still averaging double figures, but head coach Brian Holsinger said sometimes she gets a little frustrated with herself, trying to work her way back. But after taking a season off, you understand why it takes time. Another pick and pop, and Johnson hits another Vandals 3.
Exactly. Now, Montana's got to figure out, do we switch it or do we get back? And switching it makes it easier to stay tight to the shot, but then you have a mismatch. So it'll be interesting to see what they do.
Now inside, Idaho able to get the stop. Back in transition the other way. Smith pushing across. Up the floor to B. Takes the contact. Able to get it up on the backboard, too. Idaho back to the free throw line for the second time today.
Looks like Montana's a little, discombobulated on transition. They're having trouble matching up. They're having trouble getting back. One of the rules is you need to get to the hoop. You need someone at the basket.
And that's something, talking to Brian Holsinger this week, he said it's going to be so important. As happy as he was with his team's win Thursday, 81-70 at Eastern Washington, he said, we got to defend in transition and in half court, and feels like Idaho's getting some good looks early on here. to work on the inside. Montana makes it a 9-8 game with Gina Markson. You can see she's playing aggressive here, playing at her old team.
Idaho had their own problems there on the ball screen. They didn't show, and Gina was able to take it straight to the hoop. Very quick, very agile player.
There's a miss from B. Now Fatkin slashing inside. Nice pass to a wide open Burton Oliver. And Montana taking back control and regaining the lead.
I love the aggressiveness by Fatkins just to get her own shot, but now it's opening opportunities for the other players and little dump-off passes in the post.
Montana scoring the last 4 points now to take a 10-9 lead. They've also made 4 of their last 5 shots. Phillips called for a travel. Good defense there. Haley Heward sliding her feet, forcing the turnover. The first sub of the game for Montana, Danny Barch checks in for Keely Burton Oliver. Markson off the ball screen. Back up top to G. Feller. Now Barch right off the bench. Fatkin feels like she has a mismatch, and she does. Able to take advantage. John Newley wanted an offensive foul. 6-0 run for Montana.
You can see she's a veteran player. She takes her time. You get those one-on-one situations, you take your time and you get an easy basket.
B with a step back. Short. Foul off the ball against the Grizz. It's on Barch.
And that's something the NCAA has had a bigger look at, is those moving screens. That's been something that's been an emphasis for the last 5 years. Of even when they're cutting through, they have their hands up. They call it a zero cut, but you run into the player, they're going to call it.
It's already 4 fouls now against Montana. Idaho being the bonus the rest of this quarter. Gandy slashing inside and hitting the floater, and that's a huge part of her game. If she can get that going, scoring around the rim, she's really tough to stop.
Extremely tough. It opens up the three-point shooting for her. It makes the defender back up. Makes it extremely tough to guard.
Markson 3, short. Rebound G-Feller, but she lost the handle. Gandy with a lot of space. This time a triple, and she's got it. Not a player you want to leave open, and Montana pays the price.
Do not leave her in transition. You cannot lose track of her.
Gandy with 4 threes Thursday. It's her first of this game. Fatkin misses the 3 short. Gandy pushing. Screen from B. Trap, throws it down to B. Off the bubble, able to score, no whistle. And Idaho now with their largest lead of the game.
It looked like Fatkin was inside the restricted area. And the ball screen there, they played it a little different. They trapped it, tried to get the ball out of Gandy's hands quick, which she made a great play to beat.
So Montana goes on a 6-0 run. Now Idaho has scored 7 in a row. Markson collects her own miss. We're going to go to the media timeout. The official talking to the scores table. I think something needs to be corrected. So media timeout. All Big Sky selection. Ended up in the transfer portal. Head coach Brian Holsinger got a call from one of his former players that was friends with Gina Markson. And he said, yeah, we were happy to have her. And he did talk to her about kind of the emotions of this game this week. He said, just remember, it's the Grizz versus the Vandals. It's not Gina Markson against Idaho, but you didn't transfer in your career. You stayed all 4 years at Idaho, but there's got to be some mixed emotions today for Markson.
Definitely. I mean, you're going against the first coach that recruited you. You're going against, the program that you were, brought up in, basically. I mean, and what an accomplishment. And anytime you're on top 10 of anything in the school history, especially in 3 years, it's just amazing.
She's having a great year. 5th in the Big Sky in assists here this season, averaging double figures. And there's an Idaho turnover on the travel. A lot of newcomers this year on this Montana team. They have their stable of returners, their star, Carmen G. Feller, Sammy Fatkin, but 5 of their 11-player rotation are newcomers here this season, and 7 out of that 11 are freshmen or sophomores. So it's been a learning process for this team, and there's one of their young players that is really playing well. Libby Stump, the freshman, averaging 11 a game, knocking down the jump shot.
You can see how Idaho was trying to force Libby to go baseline, but she still got over the top into the middle, and that's, as a defense, that's not what you want. On offense, that's exactly what you want. She was able to capitalize on it.
In 5 straight games, Stump has scored at least 14 points. And there's a nice feed inside to Rosa Smith, who has 3 assists today, getting the layup to go. Beyonce B forces the turnover. Pulls the trigger. Off on the 3. She's shooting that with confidence. She did on Thursday, too.
Yeah, and you can see that Coach Newley is okay with that type of shot. And he wants his girls to shoot those shots. And so they're going to keep taking them. And when they start going in, it's really tough to guard. And then it opens up other driving lanes, passes.
Yeah, right now Montana doing their work for the most part in the paint. 12 of their 14 points inside the painted area. Only 4 in the paint for Idaho. But they've knocked down 3 threes already. Here's Barch. Behind the back, lost her footing. Gandy. See, when she gets those screens, she's just waiting for the defender to go under. Smith does the same, but an illegal screen is called against B. Her first foul.
It puts the players in a tough situation. You set the pick and roll, you've been taught to roll, you seal your defender, and sometimes you just get caught with the offensive foul there. And it's tough. It's very tough. I've been in that position myself, and you've been taught once I get the smaller defender behind me, I got to roll to the hoop and get them to keep them on my back.
How much is that on the ball handler as well?
Sometimes the patience. If they're not patient, they can cause those fouls. But, sometimes it's just the ref, too, as well.
It's a second foul on Idaho. Libby Stump missing the jump shot. Gandy with space. Oh, it bounced in. And she shrugs as she jogs back down the other way. Been that type of weekend so far for Sydney Gandy shooting the ball. Stump. Offensive board for Burton Oliver. A miss and a defensive board for Johnson.
Even though Burton Oliver missed that, she's given a lot of energy in this first quarter. Around the hoop, rebounding.
Yeah, Burton Oliver still working her way back as there's Danny Barch with a block shot on the 3. Burton Oliver didn't play last season either. Started her career at Arizona State. As Montana keeps possession. Now a sub coming in for Montana. Haley Heward back in, replacing Libby Stump.
It's pretty physical out there right now. There's a lot of body contact. Players falling on the ground.
Nice play. Ashlyn Wallace has the steal for Idaho. Heward racing back in transition, but not able to get the stop as Wallace with a tough contested finish.
Wallace made up for her mistake down here on the defensive end. Out of bounds play. You don't let a pass go below the hoop. She makes up for it, makes a steal, makes a full court layup.
Heward, nice move. Back outside to Koenig. The freshman, Matt Koenig, just not able to finish. It's Burton Oliver again. What an impact she's had in this first quarter.
She's making her presence felt down there. She's taking that, that block to block area and just holding her ground.
6 points and a couple rebounds for Burton Oliver. Closing seconds. Here's Smith wide open for the layup. Beautiful give and go. That finishes off a 25-point first quarter for the Vandals. Went toe-to-toe today with Tiana Johnson. One thing that stands out about both these players is standing over 6 feet tall, but they play a lot like guards. And that's one thing in this era of women's basketball that the centers used to be 6'1". Now a lot of times the 2 guards and 3s are 6'1".
Yeah, it's the versatility. And it has to do with, your high school training, how players are being brought up now. There's not a lot of just post work. Yeah, footwork. There's a lot of footwork training. There's a lot of guard skills.
Yeah. Speaking of post work, there's Beyonce B, who's pretty much mastered that art.
And that's what makes her so tough to guard is that when she needs to get a basket, she can get around the hoop and has great footwork, great touch, but she can also shoot.
11-2 run for Idaho and a missed 3 by Koenig. Fight for the rebound and a foul called against the Vandals.
Idaho's going underneath a lot of the ball screens, daring the Montana guards to shoot the three-point. So it's something that Newell's seen in the game plan. Hey, we're going to go underneath these ball screens, make them make some outside shots and not get to the rim.
Well, Montana's been pretty solid in that area this year, 33% from three, and especially Thursday, 41% against Eastern Washington. But so far, the Grizz just 0 of 3 from downtown. Markson comes off the Burton Oliver screen. Whips it outside. Fatkin wide open. Got it to go. Maybe their best look of the day.
And that's what happens when you come off the ball screen. The big gets a hit on the screen. It makes the help side defender have to help, and it leaves the wide open Fatkin on the wing for a wide open three.
It's the first assist of the game for Markson. And she's racked up more than 400 of those in her illustrious career. Rosa Smith, the freshman, not able to finish.
Especially when you have a guard like Markson coming off these ball screens. She's looking to find that open player.
There's an offensive foul called off the ball. It's against a perplexed Carmen Gfeller.
She thinks she's just working hard.
Yep.
Get in position. The refs seem differently.
That's 2 fouls now on Gfeller, and she'll have to sub out. All Big Sky, first team last year, preseason all-conference, and she's out with foul trouble right now. B, travel inside. Well defended by a Danny Barch.
And you can hear the Montana bench was yelling for a double team to come because B had sealed so far deep under the hoop. And got lucky with the travel.
Markson off the screen. Barch. Now Fatkin working on Smith. She utilized this matchup earlier, and she takes advantage again. She does size.
Yeah, she does a good job of using her body and having body control. Getting in deep and then also bumping the defender to get that little separation to spin and hit a nice little bank shot.
And Fatkin's having a really nice game. 9 points now with 3 rebounds and 2 assists for Sammy Fatkin, fifth-year senior from Snohomish, Washington. Beyonce B is fouled on the fadeaway.
It doesn't look like Holsinger's pretty happy with that call right there.
Yeah. He's trying to get an explanation from Janine Pence, one of our officials today, as B hits the first free throw. Mentioned earlier, but she was honored before the game with a basketball with her name and 1,500 points written on it, handed to her by head coach John Newley for a photo op at midcourt. First bucket of the game within the first minute, Thursday against Montana State. Another accolade in the illustrious career of Beyonce B.
It's a lot of points.
It is.
A lot of points scored here in the Idaho jersey, and that's something that you hold on for forever.
And you had more than 1,500 your career too.
Yeah,
right?
a little bit more. I don't know if I got a basketball though.
Yeah, what's that all about? Where's your basketball?
Hey,
let's start spreading the message now.
I was just proud to put the Idaho jersey on.
There you go. There's a block inside by B.
I like what I'm seeing from Idaho on defense. They might get beat off the dribble, but they're still staying in the play and staying with the contact and having high hands, not trying to foul, but interrupt these shots.
Markson all net from downtown. Gina Markson 7 points against her old team.
Great out of bounds design play from Montana there.
There's a foul off the ball against Idaho. The Grizz getting some momentum back in the second quarter. Montana was 0 of 2 from 3 in the first. Here in the second, they're now 2 of 3 from downtown. Back to a 5-point game. It's an 8-2 run in favor of the Grizz. Ewart off to Markson. And there's a foul, an illegal screen against Montana. That's on Alex Parag, the freshman.
A lot of movement. They have a lot of movement, misdirection to get to a handoff ball screen. which causes trouble for the defense. But it also, you see a lot of offensive fouls with that type of possession because you have a lot of movement. You know, the guard's grabbing the ball and dribbling right away. There's not a lot of patience, and it causes the offensive foul. And it puts the you know, the player in a tough position that's setting the screen.
Now Smith back in the corner. Quick release three. Well long out of the hand of Sarah Brands. She got hot Thursday, late in the third quarter with a couple threes. Way off on her first attempt of this game. Heward. Off the mark, and B rips down the board. Foul is called against Montana as B got hit in the head.
Seeing light pressure from Montana here. They like to make you, feel that someone's there, not just let you just dribble it up.
Well, it's a Montana team not really known for intense pressure per se. They don't force a lot of turnovers. They actually only forced 6 turnovers on Thursday in their win, and Idaho already has 6 turnovers in this game. Smith gets all the way, but not able to finish the layup. Slaps the stanchion in frustration. Another ball screen. Markson. Back up top. Barch. Haley Heward. To the rack. Oh, missed it. A bunny in front. Not able to finish. And a foul is called against Idaho.
Montana's having success driving the ball over the top into the middle of the paint. And Idaho's been getting lucky with some of the misses and being able to rebound it, but that's something that you can't have happening all night because it's going to lead to easy layups and it's going to eventually lead to easy three-pointers when Idaho overhelps.
Haley Heward subs out, the daughter of former Washington Huskies great Brock Heward, who is in attendance here today. A great analyst for Fox College football as well. Football season's over. Got time to make the trip here to Moscow. He's seated behind the Montana bench. Fatkin working on Wallace. Another physical move, not able to finish. Fatkin's had a lot of success on that with 9 points. Not that time. B to her left. She's able to bank it in.
That's what you like to see. Very on balance. Gets the jump stop, step through, taking your time. One-on-one down there. That's a field day for her. She knows it. She takes her time and gets an easy left-handed layup.
Well, you mentioned earlier Montana bench wanting a double team on B, but she's been playing some assertiveness before the double team can set. Wallace missed the 3 that time.
Well, that's the thing in transition, and that's why Idaho loves it, because in transition it's hard to double team. It's hard to get to that.
Feels like this team should be above 500. They've let some games slip away. We've seen some great things from Idaho. That win over Denver, the win over Grand Canyon, the way they played Thursday. They just haven't found the consistency yet. And that's been the case for Montana, too, as they have a loss to Grand Canyon, a common opponent with Idaho. But, 15-point loss like Gonzaga, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you have 2 very good programs here with Idaho and Montana. 2 coaches that have been around basketball a lot. And this is the new part of the season. This is conference play now. And so this is when you want to play your best basketball. And I know Newlyweds hasn't been happy with everything leading up to it, but now with, getting the win over Montana State and playing so far, so well in this first half against Montana, it's about consistency and building on it.
Yeah, and the reality is the Big Sky. You're not too wrapped up in your non-conference record. This is the time of year you want to succeed and start to dominate. Beyonce B with a miss inside, well defended. Here's Stump. Hits the mid-range. Fun player to watch. When she's on the floor, she's looking to score.
Yeah, you can see Stump is very comfortable in that mid-range and being able to pull up and be on balance as B takes it to the rack again and gets fouled.
And B, it's getting a lot of touches now. A lot of balance early in this game, but especially this second quarter, it's been a heavy dose of Beyonce B.
You could hear last time down the Montana bench yelling again for the double team to come down and double B. And that's another situation there, early in the play, right in the middle of the key is one of the best places to seal as a post player that's getting double teamed because it leads to so many options. It's either a quick finish or if a double team does come, you have a lot of passing lanes for threes.
Well, she's only going to attract more and more attention as this game goes on. She's already up to 11 points now. It's a game high. Coming off a 20-point showing Thursday. Fatkin working on Phillips. Takes the bump. And Montana's in the bonus.
I like watching Fatkins in the paint. She's so patient and so, decisive on her moves, and a very tough person to guard in that 15-foot area.
Head coach Brian Holsinger said last year they didn't have her for about half of the conference games, which really held them back. Still ended up finishing 4th. But her presence obviously massive as she scores again. She's up to 11 points as well.
I'll tell you this. She wants to go right, and she's a tough person to guard going right. And it's been what she's been able to get to this far in the first half.
Yeah, make her go left. Easier said than done. She can score from there, too. 3 by Johnson off the mark. Markson. 2 Idaho defenders collide. Good look in the corner. Barch, yes! And it's a 2-point game.
And that's what a veteran guard does there. She drives in. She sees the 2 players on Idaho collide, finds the wide open player in the corner.
Idaho led by as many as 11 early this quarter. What a move. B finishes.
Even when you try to send a double team, she still figures a way to split the defense.
She's seen a lot of those in her career. Foul called off the ball against Montana.
And that's an interesting thing you say. She definitely has seen this a lot in her career. And then you just start to play. You play naturally with it. You understand it. You understand how I need to score, how I need to move quicker, who's going to be open. And you start to understand where the double team's coming from. Is it coming from the ball side? Is it coming from the weak side? Is it coming from the baseline? So she's such a savvy player. She's able to, see where it's coming from very quickly.
Yeah, John Newley said she handles the inherent pressure you have with being the star player and the scorer. When she knows her team needs bucket, she puts her foot on the gas. She gets another one. Unstoppable now with 15.
And she's good with that awkward footwork. She takes the 1-2 slow step, and it really throws the defensive timing off.
Fatkin lost the handle. Johnson came up with it. Every time she crosses half court, she's looking to let it fly. This time she swings it over to Malone. B's got a good look. She's unconscious. Beyonce B from downtown this time.
Just when you think it's around the rim, she steps out and hits a 3.
We'll have to double her out there, too. 18 the first half for B. Markson on the step back. Well short. Idaho looking to run. Gandy. Back to B. Back to back. Yes, B again.
Great play by Gandy. Defense goes over the top of the screen. She reads it perfectly, throws it back to B for a wide open 3.
She's hit 6 of her last 7 shots now from the field. 2 of those are threes, and she draws an offensive foul too. Took a shot.
Great positioning by B, as we see in the replay. She stays on her feet, stays in between the offensive player and the basket, and takes one right to the face.
That'll make your eyes water.
I think this is going to go to review. Anything high, even if it's accidental, can lead to a flagrant foul.
Yeah, well, they'll take a look here, see if there's a flagrant assist to Fatkin. Not to say that Fatkin intentionally was malicious, but part of the kind of the fundamentals of basketball, the instincts is to flash your elbows up, clear some space. Unfortunately, she did hit B square in the nose and mouth. So
it's tough. It's tough as a basketball player. I mean, they implemented that rule a few years back. But just, it's a game of, high elbows. As a basketball player, you're taught, I get the rebound, high elbows, move, or even in the paint, like that situation where you're on offense. And sometimes sometimes it's about the percentages, sometimes it's about who's hot.
Right. Well, she's 5 of 6 from the line today. 80% of the season, too. An easy choice this time around. B goes 2 for 2. And a ridiculous 23-point first half for B. Also of note, she has 4 rebounds and 2 blocks. I mean, she's just doing everything today for Idaho. 1:09 to go. Idaho with their largest lead of the game and the basketball. Gandy back to B. She wants mid-range. Finally misses. She made 6 of her last 7 before that miss.
Exactly what I thought. Idaho comes out right away, first play. They love to do that little dribble, drive, little toss back to B for a mid-range jump shot.
Idaho has scored 12 in a row. Fatkin trying to break the streak, draws the foul.
She has extremely quick step, first quick step going to her right. And Idaho has to, they have to change it up when they're guarding her and understand that she's trying to go hard right, and she's very quick and she knows how to score that way.
She's started her career at Arizona, played in 28 games with the Wildcats in her first year there, transferring over to Montana, where she averaged about 13 last year, taking a huge step forward, and has only continued that here this season.
And that's one of those things, having Pac-12 experience, it leads to a confidence boost in some way. Not saying that, there's not good players in the Big Sky, but you feel like, hey, I've played against these type of players. I should be able to, hold my own in this conference.
Yeah, there's 2 Pac-12 transfers on this Montana team, along with Keely Burton Oliver from Arizona State. Gandy working on Koenig. Gandy inside. Can't hit. Tried to finish with the right hand. Oh, she's got the steal, though. Barch lost her footing. Wallace can't save it. And a hectic play results in Montana basketball.
That's one of those ones, if I'm Gandy, I made a tough first shot, missed it, hustled, got back in the play. I just take my time. There's still 8 seconds left. You pull it out, you get a chance for a better looking shot than that.
Here's Koenig, the freshman off the screen. Mid-range, no. And an Idaho first half of dominance. Conference play with a frustrating loss to Utah Valley. A great showing Thursday in the win over Montana State. And a nice first half. For Montana, they've shown some glimpses of greatness this year. A big win at South Dakota by 16. And then Thursday with the win at Eastern Washington. And some competitive losses this year against top-notch opponents. Montana with really a gut check here, or they're back against the wall down double digits going into the second half.
And like we talked about before, this is, it's the second game of the conference play. And you want to be at your best now, but there's also still a lot of time till you get to the end of the year. And so this is those type of games you want to be in where you can see what you're really made of.
Yeah, no reason to overreact early in conference play. Nice challenge for both teams. Carmen Gfeller well defended, and she's still scoreless.
And I know she's trying to be patient there, but you'd like to see her go a little bit quicker. You have the one-on-one. Be a little more aggressive with your move.
She's one of the best players in the Big Sky, averaging 12 a game. 0 of 2 from the field today in foul trouble. B draws the foul. Pretty quick double team. Still got herself to the stripe.
It was quick, but I think it was still a little bit slow. The bench of Montana is yelling to get down there and double team. I don't think you want to even let her dribble. Because sometimes they call a double team, hey, right when the girl dribbles, or is it on the catch? And it looks like they want to double her on the catch. They want to get the ball out of Beyond Speed's hands anytime they can.
And that was something you pointed out as B bounces through the first free throw. You pointed that out in the first quarter. That bench has been screaming, hey, get the double team set, and it's just been a step slow at times.
Well, it's super frustrating as a coach because they talked about it at halftime. And I guarantee they talked about it before the game, and it's in their game plan. So when someone has a lapse of mental there, it's really frustrating as a coach, especially the first play out.
And talking to him yesterday about their win Thursday, he said, yeah, I'm happy we scored 81, but the defense wasn't great, and maybe some more defensive frustration today for Holsinger. Here's a good sign for the Grizz as Carmen Gfeller, the senior, hits the fadeaway for her first field goal.
A lot more aggressive on that move. Wasn't as slow, as patient. It was more, hey, I'm getting to my spot. It makes the defense have to back up and gives her a little open space for a shot.
She was limited to 9 minutes in that first half in foul trouble. B with a miss that time. 25 points so far for Beyonce B in this game. Markson Now here's Haley Heward into the lane. Markson again, shot clock down to 8. Gandy checking her closely and a foul called on her.
Sometimes you get those little chippy fouls playing hard. Gandy's playing hard, but a little too close there.
John Newley and Idaho looking for a 2-0 start to conference play. A win here would be career win number 250 for John Newley. Well defended Fatkin, not able to finish. Rosa Smith, the freshman guard from Kirkland, Washington. Great on-ball defense that time.
You can see Rosa Smith was actually forcing her to her left hand, and you can see at the end of the play that Fatkin still wanted to step through to her right side. She feels a lot more comfortable that way.
Again, that was something you point out in the first half, how much she likes to go right, almost like you're a coach or something. You know your stuff. Inside. Blocked. Beyonce is blocked. Long three, Gandy. Oh, knocks it down. A desperation heave is good. Third three for Gandy. She's 3 of 4 from downtown.
When your team hustles those 50-50 balls, a block shot, you get those. You end up getting open threes. It just seems to work out that way. When you hustle and you get those extra possessions, it benefits you.
G. Feller back up top. Catch and shoot. Short by Barch. Markson's got the rebound. Well, the effort's there for Montana. They're playing hard. They just can't get shots to go right now. 1 of 4 from the field so far in the third, and an offensive foul against Markson. Excuse me, I think that's against
G. Feller.
G. Feller, yeah.
Yeah, you can see in the replay here, when she comes up to set the screen, she lets her right leg out a little far, and I think that's where the refs saw the foul. You know, Gandy's playing hard, pressuring up. And, you know, the person setting the screen, sometimes you need to get a little extra space to get the player off of the defender off of the guard.
Well, that's big that it's on G. Feller. That's her third foul now. Brian Holstinger electing to leave her on the floor. B with a step back. Mid-range is good. 27 points for Beyonce.
And this is the other thing. When you're getting double-teamed and you get the ball on the wing and you dribble into the post, it makes it tough to double, and she gets the one-on-one for a nice little fadeaway jumper from 15 feet.
And Idaho is an assistant associate head coach at Oregon State. 8 years as an assistant as well at Washington State. Pretty good debut season a year ago, going 19-11. They were 9-2 last year in non-conference play. You felt like they needed more of a challenge this year, so they came out of a non-conference play at 4-7. Now he's looking for some answers today as he looks for his team to make a comeback. G. Feller right to the glass and bounces through. Steven, still a lot of game left, plenty of time for a Grizz comeback.
Yeah, you know their coach, you don't want to be down 18 or 16 at this point in a game in the second half. But this is where you see what your team's really made of, and you see what type of fight they have. Now we're looking at looks like a 2-3 trapping zone. Interesting coming out of the timeout. They're trying to switch it up.
A new look defensively for Montana, and it forces a turnover. Fatkin takes it away. Slashing and finishing with the right hand. Back-to-back buckets for Montana out of the timeout.
Fatkin has a really good feel for the game. Very good feel around the hoop as well.
She's having a heck of a game now, up to 14 points. B in the paint. A lot of jerseys around her. She throws it away. Fatkins with another steal. Beautiful move. The Euro step miss. Scrap for the board, and a foul is called. No, a jump ball. Official with the mistake on the signal. And the possession arrow points Idaho's way.
Idaho's having trouble with this zone to start, as we see the miss and the foul. Or they called a jump ball.
Yeah, initially signaled for a foul, but it is a jump. Yeah, so 2 looks against that zone defense, 2 turnovers. Now a press is on for Montana.
Some light pressure back into the zone that they've been playing.
Gandy lets it fly off the mark. Hit a similar shot from the right side just a few minutes ago. G. Feller deep in the paint, scores with the right hand. 2 buckets for G. Feller the last minute or so.
G-Feller does a great job of using her body, sealing B deep in the paint. Leads to easy baskets.
6 points in a row now for Montana. Gandy out to Smith. Smith three. She's got it. They needed that. Struggling against the zone. Get a good look on the right wing.
A lot better patience on Idaho's side there. Taking the time, letting the zone get set, then actually getting a chance to move the zone and get an open three.
Well, Rosa Smith was 3 of her last 18 from 3. Last 5 games before that make. They can get her back on track. An offensive foul on the physical drive by Fatkin.
You see what Rosa Smith's doing. She's really forcing Fatkin to her left. And she does a great job with her positioning and gets the charge.
Today with 55 points so far.
John Newley's done a great job here. When I first got to Idaho, the girls program was struggling. He takes it over, and for to be somewhere for 15 years is just outstanding.
Yeah, winningest coach program history. Only under 500 in Big Sky play twice in his 14 seasons. Not easy to have that type of consistency.
We see Montana back in a man-to-man. They're trying to switch it up coming out of the timeout, try to confuse Idaho.
A lot of Idaho's conversation was probably about playing against that zone, but it's a man-to-man, and Gandy hits another 3. She's 4 of 6 today from beyond the arc.
But that's what a well-coached team does there. They come out of timeout, they realize right away it's not man-to-man. It's not zone. They run a man-to-man play, and it works out great for them.
It's 2 games in a row now. Sydney Gandy has hit 4 threes. Fatkin trying to get it to G-Feller. Well defended, though, by B. And the shot clock's under 10. Fatkin working on the freshman Rosa Smith. Off the screen. 3 seconds. Fatkin blocked by B. She snatched it, too.
Great awareness by B to stay in the paint, understanding the shot clock's getting low, doesn't need to run out to her player, stays there and makes a great block.
Well, we know about B's scoring, but she also has 4 blocks today. 2 of them on Thursday. She's 4th in the Big Sky in rejections this year. Good look. Johnson 3-ball in and out.
We haven't heard much from Johnson today, but she's still out there and she can shoot it.
All of her attempts from 3 today, 1 of 4. Fatkin again. Spins. Can't finish. Good help by Johnson.
Fatkin's been ball dominant, and I know she's been able to score, but sometimes you need to get other players involved, especially when it's not going your way.
Stump with a pull-up, and she's not able to hit it. B off to Smith. Patient possession again for Idaho. B has tacks and finishes. I think a lot of players would have committed an offensive foul there. Defense is there, but she's able to slow it down and score. 29 for Beyond Speed, a 20-point lead for Idaho. Idaho just has answers for everything Montana's thrown their way.
Yeah, it's been an unbelievable performance so far, especially from Beyond Speed.
It was 2015, so you know the Grizz are going to be hungry next time they host the Vandals. This game's not over yet, but Idaho another strong home showing.
And that's what good programs do. They defend their home court. I know I've said it multiple times, but it's something big, and you could see that with this series and where the wins have been at.
Yeah, Idaho win here, make it 3-0 at home this season. In the last 50 home games for Idaho, they've won 40 of them, 80% win percentage. There's a foul called off the ball against the Vandals. It's on Brooke Malone.
And that's how you build such a good record. You win those ones at home, and then you start to pick some of them off on away games. Next thing you know, you're winning a lot of games.
Inside, Koenig can't finish. The rebound, a foul is called. It's against Montana on Burton Oliver. Brian Holsinger doesn't like the call. Less than 2 to go in this third quarter. 15-8 advantage so far for the Vandals. Travel against Idaho.
Idaho's looking to get Gandy there, a nice little possession. Took too many steps there when she caught the ball.
B has her 29 points, but Gandy also chipping in with 14. Aggressive take, finish it, and a foul for Keely Burton-Oliver. What an incredible story Keely Burton-Oliver is, starting her career at Arizona State. She's diagnosed there with a rare heart condition. Cardiologist did not clear her to play at Arizona State, but she still wanted to play. She's willing to take the risk and play. She's cleared by 13 of the top cardiologists in the country. Transfers over to Washington State. Didn't feel like it was a good fit. Now comes to Montana, where in her first season with the Grizzlies, she's been a big-time player as a starter and a force in the low posts. She's also a spokeswoman for the American Heart Association. As a player playing with a heart condition, he advocates for getting your heart checked out. And an inspirational, beautiful story. Just her first year with Montana, a redshirt freshman.
Idaho's been very active with their hands on the defensive end as it leads to a layup on the opposite end.
Asha Phillips finishes off the Brooke Malone feed.
Turnovers are the toughest time to guard in transition, and that's what we see right here on the last play for Idaho.
And the pull-up is good for Koenig. He missed her first 4 shots, gets one to drop.
Montana's gone to a heavy dose of the ball screen, trying to get either the drop-off pass to the big or a nice little pull-up in the mid-range.
Smith lets it fly. In and out. 45% today from 3 as a team for the Vandals.
You can see how engaged the Idaho bench is, even the players that aren't even getting in. They're excited when their teammates get, wide open looks.
What a finish. Libby Stump hanging and hitting.
She loves that mid-range. Yeah. Libby loves that mid-range and has a good-looking mid-range jump shot.
Smith, what a move. 3 off the bounce. Can't find the touch. And the third quarter comes to an end. Well, Idaho not quite as hot as they were, cracking the top 10 in career rebounds too. So those type of accolades and marks will only build as this season goes on for her.
All-around player, that's what it shows you. She's giving her all on the rebounds, and she's also a dynamic scorer.
Koenig hits the shot there. Yeah, B playing in her 99th career game today.
And Montana's not out of this game yet. They're getting nice, easy baskets and easy looks, and if this continues, it's going to come down to the wire. Montana back in this zone, showing a different look to Idaho coming out of the timeout.
Good look for Gandy. Yes, Sydney Gandy, 5 made threes.
That's the problem playing zone, especially versus Idaho team. They get the ball moving, they get open looks, it's going in.
Whether it's zone, man-to-man, Idaho has adjusted so well. It's a hook shot inside for Alex Parag, the freshman.
Good patience by Parag, getting to the right-hand hook in the middle of the key.
Another young player. A lot of freshman sophomores in the rotation for Montana. Got a bright future. Smith and Gandy going back and forth. They get it to B, in and out. So Beyonce B with 29 today. She's actually 6 points away from getting into 9th in school history and career points. Koenig draws the foul inside.
It's a great way for Montana to get back into this game, is driving the ball, getting fouled, getting the clock to stop, and then being able to score while the clock is not moving.
It's the first foul of the quarter against Idaho. If you're Montana trying to make a comeback, you'd love to be able to get into the bonus.
And the only way to do that is be aggressive. You got to put your head down, get to the rim, take some chances.
Koenig goes 2 for 2. Subbing for the Vandals, Ashlyn Wallace replaces Phillips.
Idaho has to take care of the ball now, too, in this pressure, full court.
They're trapping right in front of their own bench. Good pass by Smith to Wallace to Gandy. 2-on-1. Malone lays it in.
Textbook 2-on-1 there from Gandy. Great drop off, and that's what you have trouble with if you're pressing. If they are able to break it, you get a nice little 2-on-1.
Koenig missed the pull up. Idaho running again. Smith to the rim, can't finish the layup. It's not a couple times today. Smith is getting to the rack. He's not finishing all of them. Stump in and out on the three, and the rebound for Malone.
I know Idaho likes to play up tempo, but in these situations where you're getting later in the game and you have a 14-point lead, now you gotta find a way to still be aggressive but take time off the clock.
Here's B. Third made three for Beyonce B. She's scoring all over the floor today.
I don't know how Montana leaves someone that has 32 points wide open.
And there's a foul called off the ball. It's against Montana. A collision there near the free throw line.
Yeah, it looked like Parag just ran right in.
Yeah.
He ran over the defender.
First foul against Montana in this fourth quarter. Parag heads to the bench. Keely Burton Oliver subs in for her.
Montana not as aggressive on the trap. After getting burned for a nice little layup, they backed the pressure off just a little bit.
Malone trying to pass it off to B. A good idea there, but a steal for G. Feller. Stump, quick pass. Oh, miscommunication. Markson and Burton Oliver both there. I think that pass was probably for Burton Oliver.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to Burton Oliver down the middle for a wide open layup. Those are the possessions that you need to have too at this point in the game.
Gandy, extra pass. Malone three. Ball movement so good, both Thursday and today for Idaho. Getting themselves some great looks. Gandy with tight defense on Markson. Gets inside and draws a foul.
Markson's got to stay aggressive here. Like we just talked about, getting to the foul line is a big plus right now. Getting that clock to stop.
Sub in for Idaho, Tiana Johnson replacing Malone. Markson, 7 points today against her old team. Does have 5 rebounds and a couple of assists, though. Still working her way back after sitting out an entire season last year. It's a Montana team with all their youth and newcomers. Could be really dangerous at the end of the season. I can say the same about Idaho, though. Corner three. Off the mark by Johnson. Markson flips it up and scores.
Ultra aggressive right now. She's trying to get that ball to the rim.
Doing against
it's paying off for her.
Yeah, doing against her old teammate too in Gandy. B, nice pass. Johnson gets to the other side of the rim and finishes.
Textbook zone offense right there from Idaho. Get the ball moving, get it to the high post, and then you have the nice drop off to the short corner to the cutting Johnson.
It's 2 assists now for B in this game. Right below her season average. Stump off the dribble. Rebound for G. Feller, and she finishes. Is there enough time for Montana? Trying to chip away here, down 14. For Idaho now, how do you balance milking the clock and playing your game?
And that's a tough thing because they're so used to getting those, when they're open from three, shoot it, as Gandy does here. But you also want to, you have 30 seconds in that shot clock. You want to get it down to, around the 10-second mark at this point in the game. But you don't want to kill the aggressiveness. That's the issue.
Rejected. B with 5 swats today. Into the media timeout we go. Offense, defense, be doing it all for Idaho, who holds a 14-point lead.
The new runway is done, and travel from the Pullman-Moscow Regional Airport has never been easier or better. Why start your trip with a long drive? Simplify your travel. Fly PUW. Alaska Air offers daily flights to Seattle and...
You put these players in a position to do the right things, but they're out there doing the right things. And so that shows you that they've been taught well and understand, hey, let's get to the open person.
This game far from over, though, and G-Feller right out of the timeout scores. Head coach Brian Holsinger's team has played really well out of timeouts today. Plenty of time left.
Yeah, G-Feller's had a great second half so far. When she's gotten the ball down low, it's turned into points the majority of the time.
G-Feller up to 10 points now just in this second half. Foul trouble in the first. Scoreless.
As we see another change in defense, back to man-to-man coming out of the timeout. Montana's trying to switch it up and get Idaho off of rhythm.
Gandy kicks in the corner. Good-looking three. Smith has got it. Sydney Gandy setting the table again.
Great play by Sydney Gandy. She just understands when I get in the paint, it's not always about me scoring. She draws so much attention and makes a great pass out to Smith.
And the way Gandy's playing lately, just a different player.
Very
Incredible.
savvy.
Yeah, the confidence is at a different level.
And now this is where you see Idaho's, they're slowing it down. They're not really, putting the pressure on, waiting till the clock to get down to that 10-second mark and get into their offense.
B lost the handle. Montana down 15. Need to make a run here. What a finish. Fat kid in transition. 16 points for her, a team high.
Taking advantage of the turnover and just getting down the floor and getting the ball to the rim. So, yeah, now we're seeing Idaho slow it down. It's interesting.
Not necessarily what they're used to, not what they're geared for. Let's see how they handle it. And that timeout taken by John Newley as Smith was trapped right in front of us near the sideline.
Yeah, that's one of those timeouts where he felt the pressure and didn't want something to happen down in fast pace, and they're in their rhythm. But then how do we waste time but then also get efficient shots and good looks?
The Vandals with 2 games they felt like they let slip away this year, Nevada and Utah Valley. Another trap on the sideline, Gandy with trouble, and another timeout by John Newley. With 11 on the shot clock.
He knows how important these possessions are, and that's why he's taking these timeouts, because you don't want to give another 2 points.
Timeouts well, he still has 2 remaining. Credit Montana here, playing hard, coming up with the traps. And for the Grizzlies, just really not their day so far offensively. A lot of misses around the rim.
And this is a tough spot for Idaho to take the ball out. You're kind of pinned in on the half court here. Now he's utilizing the backcourt, which is a smart play by Coach Newley. You can see as they're setting up here. But you don't want to catch it right along the sideline. They've done that back-to-back times now.
3 players starting in the backcourt, as you pointed out. Smith bounces in to Johnson. Back to Smith. And now a 3-player trap and a jump ball. Possession stays with Idaho with 6 on the shot clock.
Well, Idaho didn't want to catch it there, but they still caught it in this area that's very tough to navigate. And it led to, a tie-up.
Smith from that same spot bounces into Gandy. Johnson swings to Wallace. Got to let it fly. Gandy fires it up. Hits the rim somehow. And possession back to Montana.
Interesting possession there.
Yeah.
They had to get it out.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah, they had to get it out and move it around, but they wasted the whole 30 seconds. So there's some positivity in that possession.
Koenig lost the handle. Johnson forces the turnover. Gandy slow things down as they're looking to kill some more clock.
Montana's going to send a double team here soon, I'm guessing, just because of the time situation. Looks like they're not. They're just going to play this possession how it is.
Really leaning on the experience of Gandy down the stretch. Can't finish the layup. Playing in her 69th career game in her 3rd season. Great decision maker. And a foul on the floor on Markson's drive. She wanted the and one. That's only the 3rd foul against the Vandals.
She might have got it if this is a WNBA game.
Right.
But in college, they don't like to allow those continuation plays. This is still a very reachable game at this moment. I mean, they're down 13, but if you get a good possession here, Maybe get it to the, that 10-point mark. There's plenty of time.
If Montana can keep things close, likely see a lot of Idaho free throw attempts. Vandals 70% from the stripe here this season. Fatkin gets inside and lays it in.
Montana designs a great play. Fatkin's going to her right, and she's a tough guard.
She's up to 18 now. And there's a forced turnover. No, it's off of Montana and out of bounds. That would have been a huge play there.
Idaho needs to keep their head up. They're sending these double teams. They're sending these traps. Keep your head up and make the right play. Find the open player.
2 players lurking on Wallace. To B, throws it over to Gandy. Turns, Johnson for 2.
Gandy knew right away. Once she got the ball, make a nice little spin move. Finds Johnson for a wide open layup.
Again, some trouble. It wasn't pretty, but they got a layup out of it. G. Feller. Foul.
Great attack by G. Feller. If I'm Beyonce B on the defensive end, sometimes when you get caught in such a bad situation, you don't want to compound it with a foul. You put your hands up and you make her score a tough shot over you.
B with 5 block shots in this game. She's only committed 2 fouls. G. Feller's big second half continues. 11 here in the second frame. First team All Big Sky a year ago. Goes 2 of 2 at the stripe. That intense full court trap still on. B passes right over the top to Gandy, to Johnson again, and she scores again.
It's something special when you get to have Gandy at the half court mark. If you're able to break that initial pressure, you have one of your best ball handlers with the ball on a 2-on-1.
Stump missed the 3. Gandy with 8 assists now. A jump ball on the rebound, and possession goes back to Montana, to the chagrin of John Newley and the Vandals faithful on hand here.
The fans definitely didn't like it.
Yeah. And he doesn't either. He thought that was a hold. Stump. Working on B. Well defended. Back to Koenig. Fatkin can't finish that time. She's been lethal down there today. And now B gets it across the timeline, into the paint. Uh-oh. Smith throws it away.
Just a lapse of judgment there.
Could have taken another 20 seconds off the clock.
Yeah, especially like a primary ball handler like Smith. You just wanted to catch it, hold it, bring it back out.
Fatkin, nice move. Draws the foul. Almost rolls it in. Fatkin's really stuffing the stat sheet today. 18 points, 6 boards, 3 assists, 3 steals.
And you put the pressure on the ref. When you drive like that, and sometimes you just put your head down, you might get a charge. You might get the layup, you might get the and one. But you're putting the pressure on the ref to call a foul there.
She's such a versatile player, a 5'11 guard. She was the 30th ranked point guard of the nation coming out of Glacier Peak High School in Washington. And has put together a great career starting in Arizona and now with Montana. 2 of 2 at the stripe. Wallace gets it into Gandy. And a reach in near midcourt. Only the second foul against Montana.
It's all about ball security for Idaho at this point in the game. Being strong with the ball, making passes, coming to the pass. You don't want to give any chance for Montana to get a turnover here.
Smith to throw it in. Whips it into Gandy. Fires across to Wallace. And here's where Idaho can kill some clock. Trying to play keep away.
Great job by Idaho understanding, hey, we got to get the ball out of the corners. Don't let it get into anywhere where they can trap us. Get the ball on your star guard and make a play.
Pick and roll to B, and she draws a foul. Uh-oh, be a little bit slow to get up. And hopefully she's okay. A slight limp. As you see, kind of an awkward landing on her left leg there.
Awkward fall. I think she's all right, though.
Incredible game for her. 32 points, 9 rebounds, 5 block shots. By the way, her next bucket will put her tied for 9th in school history in career points with Jerry McCorkle. Smith to Johnson. Long three. Off the mark. Stump in the corner. Hits the triple. What a scorer she's going to be for Montana in her career. That'll do it. The Grizz cut it down to 8, but it really wasn't that close. Idaho led by as many as 20. Another dominant Big Sky.